What we need
Right.
is a special attitude, an attitude that allows us to express those things that normally get repressed in a social context, right? Do you see the difference? Imagining creates the mental environment, pretending allows that to seep into behavior. You want to let your clients know that they can express other aspects of themselves. They don't have to repress them in front of you, right? The problem is saying it enough. I'll give you conditions on this, right? Let's say that there's a boss and he says, you know what, I've got an open door policy. My employees can come in anytime and discuss anything they want, right? And let's say I'm the boss, you're the employee, you want to bring something to my attention, right? So you come knock on my door and because I've got an open door policy, come and talk to me. Go ahead, let's do a real role play.
Okay. So Igor, I want to talk about.
Not now, George. I'm sorry. I'm busy right now. I've got to deal with this. So look, come back another time. What just happened?
Okay. So obviously there's a shock because
Yes.
you put something out there saying open door all the time. At least that was the implication.
Yep.
And so I went in with that expectation.
Yep.
And I barely got a couple of words out, and
Yep.
you just snapped it right in, right in two.
So what's happened to the words I say? Do you have any faith in my words, in my invitation for you to express something?
No, it sort of sounds like you've got double standards. So you're saying something, but you're
This is
projecting
exactly
something
it.
else.
And people have experienced this throughout their lives. So just because someone tells them, be free to express this, does not mean they'll be free to express this, right? They will trust your behavior more than what you say. And this is where we'll get into more the things like awareness and so on. We need to be able to demonstrate that it's okay for these strange things to emerge. We don't necessarily have to say it. Saying it might be a part of that. It could be, right? It doesn't have to be. But it's more important what you show than what you tell. Telling is okay. Showing is crucial. Telling is optional. Do you see the difference?
Absolutely, yeah.
Right? So we need to create the context, the conditions in which this other normally repressed unconscious behavior emerges. And this is what we call an induction, right? We're going to simulate this, or guys, we're going to make this really easy. Think of it this way. In a social context, we're essentially putting on a mental posture that says, look, I'm harmless, therefore you can interact with me. I won't harm you, right? Now, some people do this from like, look, I'm very cool and it's worth interacting with me. Some will go like, I'm very vulnerable, it's worth interacting with me. Each one has a little gimmick, shall we say? But we all project some kind of mental posture, if you will, right?
Sure.
There's a mental posture for hypnosis that makes it super simple, makes everyone succeed at it, right? Now remember, we don't need a special state of mind, a special state of brain, if you will. What we need is a special attitude, an attitude that allows us to express those things that normally get repressed in a social context, right?
Right.
So this is where I'm going to invite you to imagine and pretend, right? What's the difference between imagining and pretending for you?
Pretend would be maybe something a little more make-believe, sort of more abstracted.
Sure.
And imagine is, let's say, imagine day 2 of our course. So it's sort of a little more in the realm of the
Sends your
possible.
mind into a kind of scenario, right?
Sure.
So let's test this out for a second, right? I'd like you to imagine you have an itch on your nose, right? You can imagine that, right?
Okay.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Now I'd like you to pretend you have an itch on your nose.
Okay.
Does anyone believe him? Show me you have an itch on your nose. Pretend it. What does someone who's got an itchy nose do? There you go. Now you're pretending.
Gotcha.
Right? Do you see the difference? Imagining creates the mental environment. Pretending allows that to seep into behavior. Are you with me?
Gotcha.
So I want you to imagine and pretend, and then suddenly hypnosis opens wide open to us. If someone only imagines, there's a way we can use that. If someone only pretends, there's a way we can do that. But if they do both, the mental posture is there for us. Are you with me?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what are we going to imagine and pretend? Well, let's go straight for the gold. I'd like for you to imagine and pretend that you are a great hypnotic subject, or when you're doing hypnosis, that you're a great hypnotist, right? So if you're a great hypnotic subject, what's that going to mean? You're going to respond really well to all the suggestions, right? So you imagine what it'd be like to respond to that, and then you pretend that that's exactly happening. right? Like I imagine I have an itchy nose, and then I'm pretending that it's actually itchy. So I'm doing something about it. Are you with me?
Absolutely, yeah.
That is the only mental posture we need from a client, which is they mentally create the context of hypnosis working, whatever that seems to be for them. And then they pretend that those things are actually happening. And then somewhere along the lines, they'll forget they're pretending and they'll just be doing it.
Yeah. Love it.
If you found this insightful, make sure to subscribe for more fascinating discussions on the power of the mind and hypnosis.